My next guest is legendary Baltimore DJ. I can't believe he's on the show. This is such an honor. DJ Scottie B.
Founder of Baltimore House Music, Scottie B. On the show.
All right here. Now we have a, I'm gonna use the other microphone. Sorry about that. Okay, so once again, it's great to have you on the show, and you are a DJ.
Right.
I've actually had people on the show that I've mistaken for DJs, so it's kind of ironic. Now,
remember Jason Urick?
yeah, that was Jason Urick. Yes. Now, anyways, now I talked to you a little bit before the show, and we said we wanted to do a little bit of journey through club music and house music and talk about the roots of that.
Journey. Didn't quite make the list.
Yeah, now first of all, I'd like to ask, because a lot of people weren't around here back then, what was the scene like back then in terms of club music, like versus now? Like, what was it like back then?
Well, Baltimore was always a dancing town, and it wasn't a whole lot of walls and barriers. You know, a lot of different kind of music got played at all the different parties. Hip hop and a lot of Euro and electro stuff got played, and it wasn't labeled. You know, so that's why a lot of people got influenced by a lot of different kind of stuff, and you shouldn't credit it to one person. The music really made itself. You know, music continually morphs, and it's just where it ends up. You know, now.
Yeah, so where does our journey begin here?
This is the first thing is going to be
turntables.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff that started in the house parties and way before clubs started. But you'll even start to hear the influence of even what's going on now. Like this is the famous break beat that's inside a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, now what's this right here?
This is Gaz Sing Sing. And this is Dance to the Drummers beat by Herman Kelly. And it's going to change up the Planet Rock, and I know everybody knows that. And a lot of the stuff was Miami bassist, True Live Crew, and this kind of stuff.
What year was this?
This is mid-'80s, early and mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s, man.
Right.
I was like 5 years old. 5 years old. Segway.
Oh yeah.
So what's happening here?
Ralphie Rosario used to hold me. This is the early house stuff that influenced the club scene. And really, a lot of it started on this block at Godfrey's.
Godfrey's across the street used
to
be like a home of the Baltimore House.
Yeah, it was a real big hip hop club. And at the time, hip hop clubs only played house. Really.
That was before rap got involved. Yeah.
Got back involved. Yeah. And a lot of this stuff is sample based, just like, but it was house music with a lot of hip hop samples, and it's kind of what.
That's kind of how it first started. And I know that there was a European influence in there too, like a lot of stuff came overseas from like England and whatnot, and mixed in with all the Chicago stuff, so it was like a bit of a melting pot. Right. Now what are we hearing right now? What's
this is UK hip house, Blast Posse, Dynamic Governors, and this is right before the Baltimore Club started forming itself. And you could probably hear it's real similar.
England. Anybody know? That guy does not sound like he's from England.
There's freaks everywhere.
Nice. Does it look like I'm constipated when I do that?
You got the
I'm
rhythm.
not. I'm just dancing.
You got the rhythm.
Oh wow. So Segway. What's this?
Now this is one of the first Baltimore Club records. I Got the Rhythm. Right. And
what's the guy's name doing this?
Scottie B. You might have heard of him. Yeah.
No, I didn't know. Wait, so this was like one of the first like clubs.
Right.
So you were like the first guy to drop that.
One of them.
Wow, man. That's awesome.
I'm that old.
Wow. What year was that?
91.
91.
It just didn't start 97 with Holotronics and all that. It has a big history to it.
Right around the time of like Belle Biv DeVoe and all that.
Even, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, not that I was listening. Yeah. Wow, so now this is now.
Point your guns out. Point your guns out. Point your guns out.
I don't know how many people are familiar with Miss Tony, but, he was the first voice of Baltimore Club.
Yeah, who's this guy right here?
Miss Tony.
Oh, Miss Tony, yeah, a Baltimore legend.
Oh, yeah, big guy looked like a big girl.
Yeah. We got a lot of those in Baltimore.
Rest in peace, Miss Tony.
Yeah, Miss Tony is like amazing, man.
You don't need a real gun. All you need to do is come to the club.
Now, you and Miss Tony used to play at the same clubs and things would get a little out of hand sometimes.
Oh, yeah, real out of hand.
Yeah.
He wouldn't hang around long for that.
Yeah.
He dropped the mic and run.
2,000 people there, fights, gunshots.
Miss
Like
Tony
all
said, how you want to carry? Miss Tony said, how you want to carry?
This was the first and the only record of the day, Baltimore Club record, that ever got rotation on 92Q.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's funny because there's kids like all over the world and all over the country. Like when I've been on tour, that like Baltimore Club, you know. So it definitely spread in my pollinated.
Oh yeah, is Baltimore in the house right now? Is it?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now what is this?
Griffin Boo Man, Pick 'Em Up. It's probably the #1 club record to date.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, this is the big one. This is the big record everybody
Wait, what's
usually
it
knows.
again?
Pick 'Em Up by Griffin Boo Man. Yeah, Griff's on 92Q was a big record.
What we got going here?
Tear the club up. This is when the record started getting out of a lot of samples and started getting original vocals. Yeah, like Rod Lee and DJ Class and those people, you know.
They were like the first guys to do that, too.
Yeah, first guys. Jimmy Jones was the first, and then Class and Rod Lee, they came behind.
You know I need it. Why not just feel it? Can't you see I'm here?
I was gonna ask you now, how did radio affect like the situation for these guys? Because it used to be like they'd have to go out to the clubs to hear this music, but then when radio came along,
Right. It made it accessible for a lot of people didn't want to go to the clubs and, you know, get involved with whatever, you know, happens at clubs.
yeah,
But it also kind of toned it down for the clubs because then it was kind of commercial and everybody, you know.
because back in the day, people in order to hear the new songs, they'd have to come out to the club.
Yeah, they have to go to the Paradox or Hammer Jacks or the Ozone or wherever.
Yeah, and the Paradox is still here actually. That's
Still here, it's still rolling.
Still rolling, man. And back now, you were telling me. Oh yeah, wait, what's this?
Samir's theme, this is kind of the sound that's going on today.
This is nice.
Right.
Now, you were telling me now, back in like 1989, big Easter Sunday, right across the street, Godfrey's, one of the biggest club shows you ever saw. It's about like 3,000.
It was at least 3,000 people, the whole sidewalk, all the way down to the train station for the girls and all the way to North Avenue for the guys. Yeah,
3,000 people, and that's back when it was like at its peak, right?
peak,
Like when it was hopping. Yeah.
peak.
Now, what's like the craziest thing that's ever happened to you being in the club? Like, what's the craziest things you've ever seen go down? Like,
I've seen a whole lot of beat downs and a
just
whole
like
lot of
people
illicit
fighting?
things.
Oh, this is that better days.
Yeah.
I know this one. Yeah. Well,
It's a lot of influence in club now that wasn't there. You know, it's real diverse and everybody all over the world, they have their own interpretation. So, you know, this is what comes from it.
yeah. So I mean, Baltimore was one of the like pivotal places that kind of made that segue, putting rap like into the DJ sets and stuff.
Well, it's always been like I said, a dance in town. They really don't care what it is. As long as the music's hot, they dance to
Well,
it.
you were telling me like when you first started doing that the club owners were like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what is this?" Like, they weren't actually cool.
They didn't want it to go back.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about because when I think of club right now, I think of rap.
Yeah, they didn't want it to go back.
Yeah, well, no, I do. I think of that.
Right, but you know that people come, you got to please and play what they want to hear, and you know the DJs definitely ain't going for it.
Yeah, when you guys first started doing that, the crowd started eating it up, right?
Oh yeah, they eat it up because they hadn't heard it in a while. You know, it was out of the scene in the clubs for such a long time.